Hello Primary 6 students, good day. This is Mr. George, your math teacher. Okay, are you ready? Okay, today we're going to study about speed. This is page 14, okay, unit 2. Okay, this is page 14 about speed. Okay, what is speed? Speed. Speed is the distance an object travels in a given time. Okay, what is speed? Is the distance an object travels in a given time. Or you can say measured as distance traveled per unit of time. Okay, the same definition. Okay, example. The speed of these cars is over 150 kilometers per hour. Or you can write like this. 150, look at the brackets here, kilometer per hour. Okay? The basic unit of speed in the metric system is meters per second. Look at the bracket here. M for meters per and then seconds. Again, the speed of these cars is 150 kilometers per hour. Or you can write here 150 kilometers per hour. This is called the speed. Usually, you can see this in the car, okay, motorcycle. Here the speed. And then the basic unit of speed in the metric system is meters per second or meter per second. Okay. Example number 1. Joe can drive 10 kilometers in 1 hour. Okay. 10 kilometers in 1 hour. His speed is 10 kilometers per hour. Okay, look at here. 10 kilometers in 1 hour, the same as kilometer km slash h. We call this kilometer per hour in 1 hour. Okay, number 2. Next, Mary walks 100 meters in 1 minute. What is the answer? Her speed is 100. Correct, students? Okay. 100 meter per minute. Okay? M slash minute here. We call this minute per meter per minute or meter in 1 minute. Okay. Now look at here. Relationship between speed, distance, and time. Okay. The relationship between speed, distance, and time. If you have speed, you have distance, and then you have time. They are together if you have speed. Okay? Example here. Mr. Rob drives his car at a speed of 25 kilometers per hour. At this speed, how far does Mr. Rob travel in 3 hours and 5 hours? Okay, Mr. Rob drives his car at a speed of 25 kilometers. You have speed here, kilometers per hour. Okay, at this speed, how far? Okay, how far travel in 3 hours and 5 hours? Okay, how far means we're looking for the distance. Okay, this one, how far we're looking for the distance travel in 3 hours and 5 hours. Okay, look at here. In 1 hour, Mr. Rob travels 25 kilometers. Okay, 25 kilometers in 1 hour. Per hour may have per hour in 1 hour. In 3 hours, Mr. Rob travels 25 and then you times by 3. Okay, in 3 hours. This one is per hour. Okay, this is only 1 hour. Okay, the same the example there in 1 minute, in 1 hour. Okay, students. Okay, now you multiply 25 times 3 is 75. Okay, number 1, look at here. In 1 hour, 25. In 3 hours, you have 75. You multiply by 3. 25 times 3 is equals to 75 kilometers. In 5 hours, okay, 3 hours and 5 hours. Okay, in 5 hours, Mr. Rob travels 25 kilometers times 5. The answer is 125 kilometers. Okay, students? Okay. Next is this one. The 25 here is the speed and 5 here is the time. And the answer is the distance. Okay? Because we are looking here for this. How far does Mr. Rob? Okay? You can say that distance is equals to speed times the time. Okay? Remember that na? Remember this one. Distance is equals to speed times the time. Okay, students? Okay. Speed, because speed is the distance traveled in unit time. Okay, this is the definition of speed. You have distance and the time. Okay. This is the uh, formula to get the speed. Speed, or you say letter S. Okay, students? We say the speed is letter S. That is we call speed. Distance, you can say letter D for distance, and time for letter T. Now, if you find or you solve speed, you divide distance over time. Okay, students? Okay. If given the speed and time, okay, you can solve the distance. Okay, you can solve the distance by using distance is equals to speed times time. Okay, if you get the speed, you have here the blue color. If you get the distance, if the speed and time is given, you can speed times the time. If given the speed and the distance, we can get the time. Correct, students? If given, you have speed and you have distance, you can get the time. Time is distance over speed. Okay? Time, distance, or you divide by speed. You divide speed. Okay, you remember this one. The color blue, red, and green. Students? Or you can say like this. We can help of the triangle given below. You can remember your formula. It's easy. You make a triangle here. You make a triangle. Okay? Triangle, and then you like that. You have 3 letters. Letter D, and then your S and T. Okay? This is the formula. Okay? The same. And D is equals to S times T. S times T. You get this one, the color blue, you multiply this one. Get together. Ah, and S, you multiply, you divide letter D and T. Okay, you have here divide. You divide that one. And for letter T, divide letter D and S. Correct, students? Okay. The same. Letter D, letter S, and T is S is the speed. Okay, remember that S for speed, and D for distance, and T for time. Okay, students, you remember this one triangle, and you know if D is of the letter D, you multiply together here. And for the speed, if you find the speed, the red color, you divide this one. Up is D and down is letter T for time. And then if you find the green here, looking for the time, you divide the distance and then the speed. Okay, students, the green color here. You can remember this one triangle, and then you remember that this is multiplication. Okay, and this is division. Okay. Next is units. Units. This is very important, students. Units. Units of distance that are usually used kilometer and meters. Okay? Remember now, units, we call that kilometer, meter, centimeter, etc. Anything. We call that units of distance. Miles, okay? You can say that in the road, usually in the road, you have kilometers, meters, that is the distance. And then units of time. Time that are usually used are for letter H na H, minute for MIN, minute, second for letter S. Okay, students, units of time we use usually are, right? Minute, second. Okay, H from R, MIN for minute, and then S for second. Okay, now for units of speed that are usually used, we always usually use, we use kilometer per hour or meter per second. Okay, remember this. Usually kilometer per hour. Per hour is the same with slash. Okay, slash that. Kilometer per hour, or we say meter per second. Okay, students. Okay, speed is usually kilometer per hour. You can see this in the car. Meter per second also. Okay, now let's move to your example number 2. The speed of a car is 45 km per hour. How far can it travel in 4 hours? That is a word problem. Okay, word problem for the speed. You have here the speed of a car is 45 kilometers, right? See the rate of speed. How far can it travel? How far means the distance. Travel in 4 hours. 4 hours is not the distance. Okay? Hours is unit of time. Okay, students? Hours, 4 hours is time. Okay? Now we're looking for here how far. We're looking here for the distance. Okay, now you have the formula that distance is equals to speed times time. Okay, first you have first method here, letter A. This is letter A na. In 1 hour, uh, in 1 hour per hour, you have 45 kilometers, right? Per hour, kilometer per hour. In 4 hours, you multiply 45 times 4. The answer is 180. 45 times 4 is 180 kilometers in 4 hours. Correct, students? Ah, in method B, we use this one. The formula that I give you in the triangle like that. Okay. Method B is we use the formula. This one is manual here, method A. Step by step, method A. Here is we use the formula method B. Speed, you have 45 kilometers per hour. Okay, time is 4 hours. Then we use this formula. Distance is speed times time. Okay, speed is 45 times 4. Then you have 180 kilometers in 4 hours. I think method B is very easy. Okay, you just remember the formula. Okay, students. Okay. Any question? Okay. Now let's move to your exercise. For today, students, I will give you only two exercises here. Number 1 and number 2. This is 2.1. Okay, page 16. Okay, page 16. Okay, word problems because this is word problem. Okay, number 1 and number 2 only. Then next time we solve the number 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Okay, students? Okay. For number 1, okay, word problem number 1. Okay. Number 1. Peter cycles at a speed of 40 km per hour. What distance can he travel in 5 hours? Okay, Peter cycles at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. What distance can he travel in 5 hours? Okay, cycle same, we can say bicycle. Okay, like that, cycles like bicycle, kadai. Okay, uh, we have here speed. And remember speed, and then what else? We're looking what distance. We're looking for distance. We don't have distance. And then 5 hours. 5 hours. Hours is the time. Okay? Now you can write here. Speed is equals to 40 kilometers per hour. Correct? Then you have the time 5 hours. Okay? 5 hours. H 4 hours. And then we're looking for here for the distance. Okay, usually this is only 3. Speed, time, and distance. Okay, students, remember, speed, time, and distance. Okay, now we're looking for the distance here. How to solve the distance? Distance is speed times time. Do you remember the triangle? Okay, D is on the top, S and T together. That is you multiply S times T. Okay. Distance for D, S for speed, and T for time. This is multiplication. Na? You multiply times. Okay. Distance is equals to 40 for speed. 40 times T for 5. 40 times 5 is 200. And don't forget the unit for distance here. The unit for distance is kilometer. Okay? Don't say, I will write her meter now. kilometer per hour, and then R here, the same R, you cancel here R, you have only kilometer. Correct, students? That's why your answer is 200 kilometers. This is your answer for number 1. You have question? Okay, now let's move to number 2. Okay, number 2 problem. During a marathon, some ran at a speed of 800 meter per minute for 5 minutes. How far did he run? Okay, now during a marathon, it's like running, run, you run. Some run speed, you have here speed, speed, and then 5 minutes for the time. How far? The far is like the distance. Okay, speed, time, and then we're looking for the distance. The same with number 1, we're looking for the distance. Now you can write here, we write speed 800 meter per minute. Then you have time 5 minutes. Okay, and then distance. What is the distance? We're looking for the distance. That is question mark. The same, the formula for distance is equals to speed times the time. Okay, you multiply the speed and the time. Okay, you have distance. Distance is 800. 800. And the time is 5. Okay. 800 times 5 is 4,000 meters. This is meter na M, meter. This is 4,000 meter. This is your answer. Okay, students. That's all for today, students. That's all for today. Then, don't forget to join. Please join our line group. Okay? Line group. I make the new group for us to send message or anything announcement, or you have question for me, or you ask something, ask Master George, you can please join our line group. This is all primary 6. This is the logo. Okay? Primary 6, English for Mathematics. This is the QR code. Please join. And then you message there if you have something to say or you ask me anything. Okay, students? Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, students. See you next time.